very much. My name is Kristian. I am the CEO and publisher of PhX Media. We are a company that is creating new comics for everybody, especially people with visual disabilities like myself. I am legally blind. I cannot see out of my left eye, and I have limited vision, 20/80 in my right eye. I do wear glasses, so I can maneuver around, but I do have a cane for my safety and safety of others. I'm gonna have everybody introduce themselves, and then we're gonna have Julie Rock from the Foundation for Blind Children talk a little bit about the technology that is out there for the visually impaired, for those of you who are not visually impaired. And then she will hand it back over to myself and Harra, where we will talk about how this all came about. And then we'll kind of go into our little one page that we're going to premiere here today, Stan's Adventures, and we're going to hear from Heather Moffat, the artist, on Stan's, and then we'll introduce the actors who do the voices for the characters. So let me introduce our panelists.
Oh, yay. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Awesome. My name is Harra Ariel, and I am the head writer for PhX Media. Curiously enough, I did not write on Stan's Adventures, but I was, the first person you invited onto this?
First person I invited, yeah.
I guess that makes me a charter member or something, but hey, lovely to meet y'all.
My name is Peterson, and I am the voice of Stan, and great to be here.
I am Julie Rock from Foundation for Blind Children, and I teach technology for those with visual impairments or who are completely blind, so what we call assistive technology.
I'm Heather Moffat. I'm the artist for Stan's Adventures. I'm very excited and happy to be here. It's a wonderful opportunity.
I'm Denise Wexler, and I'm the voice of Vera.
I'm Peter Hand, and I'm the voice of Benoit.
My voice tends to carry, so I have a hunch you can all hear me, yes?
Mm-hmm.
I have an iPhone here, which everyone knows about nowadays, right? iPhones, iPads. And what you hear about them is how great they are with the wonderful things they do. But Apple was one of the first ones, it seems like, to realize that things need to talk right out of the box. Now, for anyone that does not have a visual impairment, it's just fun, right? You talk to Siri, you say, call so-and-so, Siri talks back, you say, what's the weather? She says it's really hot, all of those kind of things. From a practical standpoint, though, if I want to do anything on my phone, I need to actually hear it, because I can't see where I am, okay? So if I want to, for instance, take a picture, now I can point my camera out, and now it's telling me I'm on the button. Whoops, sorry. Somewhere it says camera finder. Let's see if I can find it. Oh.
I promised her she wouldn't have to talk, so I'm kind of going back on my promise here.
Bear with you guys, public speaking is not something that I really like to do, but I do love art. I love to draw, and I'm a recent graduate. I actually just graduated from the Art Institute of Phoenix last year in June. Since I graduated, I've mainly been doing freelance work as an illustrator and animator. But when Kristian approached me with this, I was really excited about it. The reason why I was excited about it is big reason that I wanted to become an artist was not just to do something that I love to do for a living, to draw, but I hoped to be able to use art to make a change in the world. I know that's a tall order, but I strongly believe that, the power to evoke emotion in people, whether it's, pain, humor, that's just a powerful thing, and if you can get people behind that and get a following, then you really can make a difference. And that's why I was excited about this, and, we're trying to do something, with limited funds. This isn't something that I was paid for. All of my freelance work, it's paid work. I did this completely for free, and I plan on continuing to do it. It does take a lot of time and work, and I have a family to support. My family's actually here supporting me. My 4 kids. My boyfriend is here. I'm just really happy that I was able to do it, and I'm hoping that it does end up being something that's published and accessible to people, because that's, even before, like Kristian said, I was working with him, and we didn't have the idea initially to do a webcomic. We were going to do traditional comics, and I wanted to work with him because I did want to help people, that have disabilities, that don't always have the same opportunities as everybody else.
And then we have Dee who plays Vera, and then we have Peter who plays Bangwala, who is probably out of all 3 of them my favorite. I'm kind of biased, but Vera does have.
He's talking about Bangwala, not me.
But Vera does have that really cutting edge to her, and that is something that I kind of like about her. And then Stan is just so plucky that he's just kind of your everyday kind of hero. So let's hear from Doug first, and then we'll hear from Dee and then Peter. Okay, Doug.
Hi, so what do you want to know?
What drew you to this project? Let's start with that.
What drew me to this project specifically was that I've had experience with screen readers in the past, and I did not like the monotone Stephen Hawking type voice that came out of them. It seemed so impersonal, so scary, and very computeristic. Don't get me wrong, I like technology. I make use of technology every day, but I don't really like the voice that it presents. There's no inflection, no change, or no show of emotion or heart whatsoever. And I really wanted to put have an impact on support change.
I trained and I worked at Arizona State University for 10.5 years and worked with a variety of departments, including the department that served the blind and visually impaired. I've done voiceover work before and did some of that at ASU, doing some of the books on tape for some of the students. And when I was first approached about this, it came out that I grew up in New Jersey. And so for me, Vera was not a stretch. It was kind of like falling back into my old days. But one of the reasons that it appealed to me was the fact that this is an underserved population. These are people who deserve to have a normal life, just like other people who don't have disabilities. And the opportunity to be part of it is just exciting, just an exciting concept. And so when I was offered the opportunity to interview, I did, and was pleasantly shocked when I was accepted, and thought, this is something that's got potential, it's got a future.
Mother would occasionally scream at me and my 5 siblings, "Will someone please talk in their regular voice?" So, the first thing that happened was Kristian gave me a venue to be sort of my natural ham of a self, but what I didn't anticipate was he gave me this character who's this Rastafarian, space-dwelling cook who, I don't really have a natural way of relating to. So I did a ton of research prior to even the audition, and I walked into the audition and I avoided doing the Bangwala voice for 15 minutes before they finally said, all right, let's hear your Rastafarian. And so I threw it out there, and fortunately, they loved it. And I do have some background with it, but the other thing that hit me was, you know, when I was 3 years old, I was diagnosed with amblyopia, which is just lazy eye. It's not really a big deal as far as visual disabilities go. Although, to a 5-year-old who's going into kindergarten and being called the professor because he's wearing thick bifocal glasses, you know, it was emotionally traumatizing me, and I eventually got over it. I'm also one of the kind of edge cases of amblyopia people who got significantly better over the years. So my vision is actually very, very good right now, and I'm 55, so that's kind of a miracle. So the fact that I was blessed with that made it more important to me to give back to the community. And actually, Foundation for Blind Children used to be on my jogging route. I used to jog by them all the time. I actually tried to volunteer once to line something up with one of my children, and we couldn't get the right person on the phone, and it didn't work out. But here we are, just a couple of years later, and doing something together, and it's a really great opportunity. And aside from all of that, the artwork is brilliant, the voice actors are hysterical, and the project is just fun. So even if you're not visually impaired, you're going to totally enjoy this. So.
All right. One of the things that there are possibly a few people in the audience who are probably thinking, well, I'm not visually impaired. How does this apply to me? And one of the things that I wanted to encapsulate on was all the different things that can be done with this technology, all the lives that can be touched, what have you. And I guess that goes into my own experience is most people wouldn't tell being able, meeting me for the first 5 minutes, but I'm actually autistic. And one of the reasons that comic books are very difficult for me is that there are faces, and there are words, and there are body languages. And I'm lost through everything. I don't know who's feeling what. They could have a really, really intense look on their face, and I won't know it without some sort of voice. And there are many people who have issues with facial recognition, with difficulty with body language, who can be helped by this. And it's also a more immersive experience. I am a firm believer in let's make media as exciting, as immersive, as fun as possible. And so being able to add a second sensory experience for those who do have vision and allowing an accessibility for those who have visual impairments, it's important. It's fun. It's more immersive, it's more dynamic, and it's exciting. And also one of the more trivial things that could be done is for those of you who have the ability to have your headphones on at work. You can still quote unquote read your favorite comics, all the awesome stuff, while at work, and no one will be any the wiser.
Unless of course you're giggling really loud, and then everybody can be wondering what you're doing.
I may or may not be giggling. You shush.
Just so that everybody knows, I just noticed this. They spelled my name wrong.
Did they really?
Yeah.
So they did.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to the programmer about that later. I did find, doing some research, I did find that Marvel did put out one audio comic, but it was 4 years ago, and it was Daredevil #1. And that they do have audio version of X-Men Days of Future Past and Civil War. So I'm gonna email them back and tell them that I found this article on their website, and maybe they should do a little bit more research for this audio comic. But yeah, if you Google it, comic books for the visually impaired, it's actually on the second page. I did listen to it. I listened to the first couple, first 10 minutes. It was actually pretty good. It was pretty decent, but it's nothing like what we have. And just so that you all know that what we're gonna see here now for the very first time ever, this is very, very rough. This is actually on a PowerPoint. The programmer who was helping me with this actually had to leave last Friday back to Minnesota so that he could move his family down here. So I've been up since about 7 o'clock this morning, working with his roommate to get this done. We actually got it done about 9 o'clock. Went and had breakfast and then came here, and I've been looking around these two computers all day long. So without further
Core 6 Media presents Stan's Adventures, created by Kristian Newton and Ian Tan, written by Kristian Newton, art by Heather Moffat.
Hey Vera, have you seen Bungwalla?
Morning, Verge. Yeah, he's in the kitchen.
How many times have I told you not to call me that?
At last count, 23,159,637.
Oh, for the love of... Get back to work, Vera.
I am working here. I never stopped working. I am always working. Working.
Bungwalla!
Stan, my man. Just in time, man. My new creation just finished cooking. You wanna try?
Is this the Mega Magnospheric Carnivorous Super Special?
With extra jibs. I told you, man.
That smells divine.
Help yourself, man.
Don't mind if I do.
Oh, joy. I have a mess to clean up again.
Oh, yeah, man. That is the way I munch it down now.
You know, it's like, yeah. Even though his drawings were fantastic, you really didn't need them to get the feel for that story. And especially in this particular context, I'm hoping that one of the things we see in the narrative description are things like, oh, there goes Bungwalla again. And then describe him as if the narrator is super familiar with the characters and very fond of them and understands their idiosyncratic behavior and helps to describe that along with their actions to the listener.
I look up to Kevin Smith. I know everybody, probably said him, but Kevin Smith, Neil Gaiman. I was a superhero fan when I grew up. Growing up, X-Men, Avengers, Fantastic Four, Batman. So, but I don't like superheroes. I don't write superheroes. My other book, Eclipse of the Immortals, is actually a Blade Runner underworld kind of deal, a real sci-fi cyberpunk. So I kind of lean more towards that, but Harra is all over the gamut.
The general joke is I can't write anything without some sort of magic or supernatural influence. Interestingly enough, unlike Bossman over here, I did not grow up with comic books. I really didn't because I had trouble understanding the medium. Most of my influences are theater and video games. A lot of Bethesda, a lot of BioWare comes into my influence. Dragon Age and Elder Scrolls, if you ever want me to love you. But that comes up a lot. Phantom of the Opera, stylistically, is a huge influence that crops up every now and then, even in the sort of genres you wouldn't expect it, like a supernatural film noir has Phantom of the Opera influences where you least expect it. But that's where a lot of my personal influences come from. It's usually a little more dark than not. Even the cheery stuff has little sinister elements, and I'm a golf girl at heart. These things do happen.
Cartoons, popular cartoons, all the way the Looney Tunes cartoons. My favorite is the Abominable Snowman or the Little Bunny Brother. Even the Marvin the Martian. I need my P-32 space modulator.
Heather, what about you?
You stole my answer. I was gonna say Chuck Jones, John Bluth, and old school, Jim Henson. I like kind of the zany kind of style of art.
Tex Avery?
Yes, exactly. So that was a lot of what I was thinking about when I came up with the ideas for the characters, how they would look.
A lot of my experience was with print comics because I'm old. Growing up with a variety of cartoons and stuff, going back to the old Looney Tunes, and then some of the later stuff like Pinky and the Brain. It's just kind of, okay. Pinky and the Brain, and then Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Just the kind of logic-driven, sarcastic, but then again, my East Coast influence came out too.
So, just me too, with Looney Tunes, Mel Blanc was just a gigantic influence for me early on. I actually, the only other voice acting I've done was in 1984 for a company called Thrifty Drug Corporation for some internal movie they were producing, and I got to do voice acting with a guy named Andre Kroika, who at the time was the voice of LA. You literally couldn't turn on the radio without hearing him, and I stood next to him, and the first word out of his mouth was like, I hear this guy on the radio all the time. And we had a great conversation about voice acting, and I thought, someday when I'm done doing this job, I'll do that job maybe. But also the unsung heroes of holiday programming everywhere, Rankin Bass, who brought us, we're on the island of misfit toys. Nobody wants a Charlie in the box. So, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I think that one was, but there's so many great things out there that if you're just open to it and let it in, it'll, inspire you and stimulate your creativity. So.